So I don't know. I just wanted to give you guys a little one-on-one lesson, okay? StellaZone lessons, okay? So cooking for beginners, people, non-Africans, or because I get a lot of people that will email me that they are married to Ghanaians, but they are not Ghanaians, okay? Or they are Ghanaians and they never learned how to cook. That is fine, okay? I'm not here to, because I wasn't a good cook growing up, okay? The secret is out. So, making Ghana soup, let me simplify it for you. I'm a Ghanaian, so I'm going to talk from the Ghanaian perspective. Making Ghana soup, there are 3 things you need to get right. If you can get these 3 things right, I guarantee you always have a good tasting soup. Okay? So these 3 things, okay, I'm going to talk about number 1. Number 1 is, what is the main ingredient in the soup that you're making? So, as in, what is the soup you're trying to make? Is it light soup? Is it peanut butter soup? Then you know your number 1 main ingredient is going to be peanut. Is it palm nut soup? Then you know your number 1 main ingredient is going to be palm nut, the palm nut paste. Is it Abunubunu? You know your number 1 ingredient that you're going to need is a leafy green, which could be contomere or spinach, okay? So once you figure out the kind of soup you want to make, that's number 1. Number 2 is getting the meat, like whatever meat you want to use, the season right. Like, you need to just get the season right on the meat. I feel like sometimes people want to make the cooking too sophisticated. Trust me, Gordon Ramsay or whatever was his name, that guy that curses on TV, the chef, what's his name?
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, is that his name? Okay, he's not going to come judge you, okay? I am not going to come judge you, okay? The number 1 thing is to get the season on your meat right. And for beginners, I'm going to tell you 3 things you can get. You can start with seasoning your meat. You need onion, ginger, and garlic. Okay, if you don't eat garlic, you can just skip that process. But if you can blend every time you cook your meat, just blend onion, ginger, and garlic. And then, of course, when you're cooking your meat, you can add a little bit of sliced onion if you love onions like me. And then you pour the puree on top. Add a little bit of salt to your taste. And if you want to add any form of bouillon, chicken bouillon, shrimp bouillon, beef bouillon, you can go ahead and add that and cook your meat. Don't cook your meat too long, because if you cook your meat if you're making soup, it is better to have your meat undercook than overcook, because when you cook your meat before you use it in making the soup, guess what? You're going to introduce the meat back into the soup, and so the soup is going to cook the meat again for you. So it is better. This is boiling. Yeah, I'm going to lower it. So it is better to have your meat a little undercooked, not like don't put it on the stove 5 minutes. You're like, I'm done. No, I'll come flog you if you do that. So it's better to have it undercooked than overcooked, okay? So once you get the seasoning, like I'm telling you, this starts with this simple seasoning that I'm telling you, okay? And then when you get to your soup, okay, Stella, I want to make soup, but I don't know what to do. If you figure out what to do with the peanuts, okay, watch my soup videos. So now we have the main ingredient. Then we've talked about the meat. Now, what else can I put in my soup? It always boils down when it comes to Ghana soup, 3 ingredients, okay? Onion, peppers, tomatoes, okay? These 3 things, you blend it, you put it back into your soup. Add maybe a little bit of water depending on how you want your soup, how thick or liquidy you want your soup, okay? For someone like me, I don't like my soup on the first day too thick, because guess what? Every time once you cook your soup, you put it in the fridge, the next day it becomes too thick. So that's why sometimes people are like, your soup is too watery. No, it's not, because the very next day, it's going to thicken up. That's what soup is. So yeah, once you blend your onion, your tomatoes, your peppers, you return it to your soup, you cook your soup, you let your soup boil. This could be your start, okay? This could be your start, okay? Getting a palm nut paste from the African store is easy. Scoop the palm nut and add your hot water. Very simple. Doing light soup, okay? Light soup is even the easiest, because as you cook your meat, light soup only involves a few ingredients more, which is the tomatoes, the onion, the peppers, okay, and you can add garden egg, which here is eggplant, okay. You can peel the eggplant, the purple part of the eggplant off, blend it and add it, or cook it beforehand and add it. Or if you have it in the freezer, there's no point in cooking it. Just take it out of the freezer, blend it, and add it to your soup. These are like simple, practical things you want to do for a beginner. Just start small. And one of the extra point that I'm going to throw in there, if you know what your main ingredient is, know how to work it. Okay, know how to work your main, because it's like peanut butter. Some people will just, if they want to make peanut butter soup, they will get the peanut butter and scoop it, you know, make sort of like a sauce, add water, and start making their soup. That's not how I grew up with. You have to pre-cook the peanut, sort of like add water and steam it and reduce it and all that process. You can watch my video. But once you know how to, like the last one, if you know how to, some of these main ingredients, they require a little work. But to make African soup, you can start with this basic steps, and then once you know, you are confident with those steps, then you can start playing around, introducing, but don't go overboard. Then introducing things to your soup and like your kitchen and your cooking, and then you will be getting better and better and better. No one was born a chef. No one was born a great cook, okay? You have to learn from somebody, or you have to start from somewhere. You have to have that confidence in yourself. If you know your husband, you know, even if the food is not good, he will tell you, honey, this is the best tasting meal, because he wants to sleep peaceful at night. So don't beat yourself up and say, oh, I tried it and I failed and all that. Just keep trying and stop trying to. Sometimes when you're cooking and you try to add a lot of ingredient, the food comes out tasting horrible. Just keep it simple and basic. Trust me, just keep it simple and basic, and you are going to give yourself a pat in the back and say, yes, I earned it. I am a StellaZone subscriber. So this is just my little, this is how I learned it. This is how I learned. I watched my sister, other people, my mom. This is how I learned from the beginning. And those are things that I've learned, and it stuck with me and it helped me until you become like StellaZone, and then you can start playing around with ingredients. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, if you have any tips that you also want to add it in the comment section. Let us learn from each other. Thank you guys. Bye.